After playing around with Sentinel for the last 2 hours, I'm really not sure on this character. The unsure nature is that there are some really good parts of his kit, and there's some okay damage output, but for the most part, I can't really say to myself that he is going to be my #1 mutant suppressing champion, and there's a lot more to that meets the eye. His pluses are he gets better attack rating when he builds analyst charges, which, hey, more damage, who doesn't like that? Also, to the later part of the video, you're going to see why the interest around the shock debuff close to that SP3 and putting additional one on is giving so much damage. It's an interesting idea of rotation. The SP2 is a little bit of a concern because of incinerates, why not plasmas and other types of damaging debuffs, especially against mutants, which predominantly that's where you're going to be using the champion for. He does have some better immunities, which is nice. And his analyst build does form a really interesting opportunity for him to be on defense, because he gets to that unstoppable a bit quicker and can be a bit of a bugbear if you're going up against him. And also later on in the video, you're going to see why armor up access 2, so getting that armor up buff, is actually a bit of a problem and frustrating if you are thinking about taking this champion against one specific mutant. I've got lots of footage to talk over, so let's get right into the video. So here we go, straight into the action against Iceman. One big problem that you're going to see quite a bit is incinerate. There are a good chunk of mutant based champions, and of course champions in game, that are going to be incinerate immune, which causes a problem. You're going to see this when I throw the SP2, which, if you haven't seen it, in any case, like, I'm trying not to over damage. You're going to see some very kind of weird plays, and that's just because I'm trying to build up to special attacks and do other things. Don't read into it. I'm just trying to illustrate points like there. Illustrate the point that incinerate immune is Iceman. We all know that. The same thing with the type of shock interaction. If I wanted to parry heavy or I wanted to do an SP3, it might be damaging for me in the respect of, well, trying to rotate that particular way. I'm looking to be incinerated right now because I was trying to, in this particular scenario, and I think I do, get down to trying at the SP3. Do you know what the SP3 does? That's right, you get a brand new Sentinel appearing to help you out. That's really nice, isn't it? So that's what I'm trying to do right now. First of all, not trying to die, but also at the same time trying to damage Bishop, which is of course can be a bit of a problem unless you get the analysis. That's the great part about this champion, building analysis, doing more damage. What's the great thing about Sentinel as well? Well, doing an SP3, which I'm doing right now, and then straight after, do you know what happens? As we said, you're gonna get a brand new Sentinel appearing. There he is. Full health. You can only do that once per quest. As much as I like that, I also don't like that at the same time. That kind of like limitation to going, oh, that's something good about the champion. Yeah, you can only do it once. It's kind of like that regeneration from Iron Man. It's kind of weird. Domino is another bit of an issue, but then I don't know if this is, again, what this champion should do. Sentinel, you know, dealing with Domino's critical failure is frustrating. So trying to reduce that down would have been nice as part of, like, you know, early analysis build, but I guess that's something you're not meant to have. Don't think anything's really yet meant to have that in game. I did like the champion, however, against Emma Frost. Easy access to armor breaks means this is a good counter against the champion. You just have to take it into the block a little while and then throw off like a special attack, like an SP1 right there, and then you've got an armor break champion. That suppresses down Emma's abilities, which is nice. So that's a good pass. At least if I know I need an option against this, I'm going to use Sentinel. At this moment in time, this is a rank 3 unrelicked version of Sentinel. We'll see rank 5 of Sentinel a little bit later on in the video, but there's a lot of footage I'm having to kind of like dissect. Here is where my big problem is with the champion. It has an armor up buff. Yeah, that's good, isn't it? That's good to counter the likes of Havoc. Unfortunately, accessing that, and this is why you're going to see me try to get hit and go down, is that it's right at the end of your health pool. Yeah, you could throw an SP3 to go and get it back, but if you're facing something a bit more stronger, I'm talking like not like a general champion here that's going to be about, I don't know, 50k health or even less, actually this is less than 50k, then it's a problem because you can see the plasma's building. It's already plasma detonated me once, and I have no way, shape or form close to that armor up. So why should I be losing health? Oh, but you do get to do that SP3, Rich. True. I mean, look, that's when the armor up popped up. That's when I triggered it off. And yeah, I could do the SP3 right now and be able to get a full health version. But I'm going to reach the same problem I had before. that armor up is going to be expiring and is not going to be helpful, is it? Granted, this SP3 is going to kill off Havoc, but the point is still there. Trying to find... It's like that saying, isn't it, for Anchorman? Anchorman 2, I think it is, where it's like, oh, they've done studies, you know, 60% of the time it works every time. And yeah, that's kind of it. Against 60% of mutants, he works every time. Of course, again, just to illustrate, I am throwing an SP2 into a block. That is to illustrate that Colossus is an immune champion to Incinerate, but isn't in this particular situation to armor break. Now, I can't remember if this is because I reached full analysis and therefore was able to suppress his... I think he's armor break immune. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong by that. I should be able to quickly check, actually, because I'm looking at this and also looking at in-game as well. But I can't remember if that's like an ability accuracy reduction based element. Sometimes remembering everything off the top of your head is always a very difficult thing. But Mr. Sinister, good counter for Mr. Sinister. SP1 access to the armor, not armor breaks, but heal block. That's the main thing, isn't it? Just getting access to that very quickly. Yes, so if he's not fighting a tech champion, that's right. Yes, sorry, it's just because he's a tech champion. That's why I was able to armor break in that particular situation. So this is the last of the rank 3 6-star footage before we go on to the 6-star rank 5 ascended with a Sentinel relic. The main thing that I'm pointing out here is to build up to the SP2. Now that we've got all the analysis, we're doing a good amount of damage, and that's 120 hits and 10 incinerates on. It's a good amount of incinerate damage, and obviously if I had the relic and the rank 5 and ascended, it'd do a bit more. 126 hits, and then it's 130 something to kind of do. Now with the 6-star rank 5 ascended version, different scenario. There's a good amount of damage that's coming up per chip. But we're not at the end point of the analysis. I would say, and like the final thoughts as we kind of get to the end, we're getting to the end of the video and showcasing some more footage and talking about the defensive elements of it. It's a good champion. That's it. I'm not knocking it, but I think this has been more like Kabam haven't gone crazy with this one. He's usable. He has access to things like incinerates, which does make him helpful against like different content. If Kabam put a node out and they're like, okay, you need to do incinerate damage, or it's got an incinerate like vulnerability or something as part of the node, then you've got an option there. But against mutants, like he doesn't get any slow debuff or anything. Like here's a good example against his Nightcrawler right now to deal with that particular champion. So he's kind of like still a punching bag for mutants, which is very apt. Of course, getting easy access to the analysis helps, whether or not it's on an attacking sense or a defensive sense for this. Yeah, I do like some elements of it, and I think this is what I like the most. It's that towards the SP3, if you've got a type of synergy, which allows you to rotate, as we saw just in that Nightcrawler fight, if you've got an immunity and the synergy, which I can't remember off the top of my head what it is, but you're building up power quickly. And because you're able to do that, you're able to basically spam heavy attacks and do nice shock damage. You can see here, like I'm going to do another parry heavy and do that shock damage. It chips rather nicely, I must say. And I'm not saying that's going to be the ideal playstyle, but if you need a champion with access to shock, to incinerates, to armor breaks, to heal blocks, then those debuff access is something that I really would rate if I needed it. Unfortunately, I don't. Most of the time when I'm looking for a champion for that, I'll have options. But if I needed them for whatever reason, and being, you know, I don't know, it's like a poison, bleed immune, armor break immune type champion, then this is a good option. It's a very good option. And on a defensive perspective, if you are repeating the same moves, which I am doing right now, I don't know if you saw that, I'm basically doing exactly the same moves. I've charged them up on analysis, then I'm playing into it. I'm playing into this champion. He's armor break immune, which makes a lot of cosmic champions look twice at him, and then maybe changes who you use as the enemy, your options. And I would say for this, I would go to more the Mystic line, and this is why I found that using Dr. Doom was a better option. Now, I do get hit in this particular fight, but again, the point still remains. Like, if I can get my my nice little, what's it called, stagger. If I can stagger, then I've suppressed the armor. That's good. If I've got a champion that is able to take away his power, that's a mistake. I ran right into an SP2. That's wrong. Don't do that, people, if you're watching at home. If you suppress those armor ups, then that's great, because you can't armor break. So stagger and nullify, and of course get the W. So yes, a good champion overall, but there is some issues. And thank you everybody for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed the dissection, and hopefully you listened as well, because there are some key elements of things that I went over in this video as to why he was good, but why he is bad at the same time, and some things I think Caban missed off. However, it does play into the fact that Sentinels were a bit of a punching bag for the mutants to the best of anything that you've seen in the past, comic books or animated series. Either way, look, he's no Nimrod, he's no Lady Deathstrike, he's no Omega Sentinel, he's just okay, I guess. What are your thoughts? Put it in the comments.